Hello again, YouTube. It's 3:17 a.m. Early Wednesday morning, November 10th, and last video just got cut off, and it's that bug again that I love to mention, where video stops recording, it'll pop up telling me that the phone is full, but the phone isn't full, and I have to reboot to make use of the rest of the available space. And I probably should have done a preemptive reboot before leaving my home, but I rarely think about that sort of thing until I get the pop-up message and get rudely interrupted while recording stuff and getting thoughts off my brain. Anyway, gosh, I was talking about so many things. I think when I left off and got interrupted by the phone lying and saying I was out of space to record, I was talking about how I hadn't been to the Circle K at 36th Street in Oak for a while because it's a half mile, and when you figure in the walking to the stop, over a half mile in any direction from that corner to a bus. And I was talking about how, like, when I lived in Denver, and granted there were areas where you'd have to walk that far to a bus, but generally speaking, when you're in Denver proper, there's a bus every half mile. There's a road with a bus that goes down it. So you never have to walk more than a quarter mile to get to the nearest bus. Now, granted, different buses have less frequency, but like a major road that may say a major street like Colfax has got a bus. Like every 5 to 10 minutes, it buses nonstop on Colfax, and boy, is that a weird bus to ride. So many freaks and weirdos on that route. Route 15 going east, Route 16 going west. But in east or downtown or west of downtown on Colfax. It's crazy. I still remember those bus routes from living there. But those weren't the only streets that had them. I remember there was a bus route there's one on 32nd Street, there was one on 29th Street. So, 29, 30, 31, 32. I mean, it's two through streets going east and west, 3 blocks apart. So you didn't have to walk a half mile to get to where the bus route was. A half mile to a mile to get to the next street with a bus route, or shoot, if you live in Gilbert, it's typically it can be up to 3 miles walk to the next street that has a bus route. Even here in like a somewhat centralized part of Phoenix, like there's a north and south bus route on 32nd Street. There's a north and south bus route on 44th Street. That's 1.5 miles apart. That's too far apart. It really is. This guy's having fun. There's going east and west. Like there's a bus route on, like here where I am. There's a bus route on Thomas. The Thomas bus is very well served. Although for whatever reason, I'm almost to 48th Street. Only about a third of the routes. And that guy just ran the red light. Nice to see motorists have such high regard for red lights tonight in Phoenix. Second red light runner in less than a half mile. That one was loud too. Damn. Not as bothered by the guy on the e-bike riding on the wrong side of the road. To be honest, I frequently ride my scooter if I'm on Thomas late at night. That's where I ride as well. I feel a lot safer on that side of the road where I can see oncoming traffic and can hop on the sidewalk to get out of their way before they get close to me than I do potentially having someone come up behind me and run me over, riding where I'm supposed to be riding. Oh, man, that car, I don't know what kind of exhaust it's got going on, but I can still smell it. It's really foul. So anyway, in Denver, it seemed like there's a thoroughfare every quarter mile to a half mile that has a bus route on it. Now, granted, some of the less busy thoroughfares, or less busy streets, only have bus routes every half hour, whereas like the busy thoroughfares have it every 10 minutes. But here, Well, a lot of the busy thoroughfares only have a bus every half hour. 44th Street, I think, is every half hour. And in fact, I think 32nd Street is also every half hour. Thomas is pretty frequent east of, or going west of 44th Street, but going east of 44th Street, I'm not even sure if it's every half hour, like here where I am walking, near 48th Street on Thomas. I don't think the frequency slows way down. And of course, at this time of night, there's nothing. All the routes start stopping between 8 and 10 p.m. And somebody's sleeping on that one. All right. And they don't resume until between 4 and 6 in the morning. So if you got a night job or you want to go somewhere at night, screw you. This place changed names again. Prados. It was called the Tides pretty recently. I'm not even trying to look permanent anymore. That's just a printed tarp. And yeah, I can tell I can still see the remnants of this sign here where it said the Tides. It's still got the wood they painted over, or it's just not wood, it's metal. I thought it was wood. Looks like wood slats, but it's metal. I can still feel the glue where the letters were that said Tides. It was white with dark brown letters that said the Tides. Anyway, yeah, it's frustrating how far spaced apart the routes are. Oh, and after 44th Street, there's not a north-southbound bus until I think the next one is at 68th Street. And oh my gosh, how many miles is that apart off the top of my head? I can figure it out. I just need a moment. So from 44th to 48th is a half mile. 56th is another half mile. Then 52nd is another half mile. Then 64th is another half mile. Shit, I lost track. I'm not good at doing that stuff out of my head, but oh gosh, let me just count half miles here. So it's 44th to 48th is a half mile. 48th to 52nd is a half mile. 52nd to 56th is a half mile. 56th to 6 or 7. 56 to 60th is a half mile. It's easy to forget about 60th because there's not much in the way of traffic on 60th. And then, in fact, 60th isn't much of a thoroughfare in this part of town, but that would be the next half mile street. Wait, 56. Yeah, so 60th. And then 64th is the next half mile. And then the next half mile after that would be 68th Street, which does have a bus. So we're talking 1, 2, 3 miles. Yeah, 3 miles space between north and southbound buses. That's how bad transit is here. Yeah, really would be nice. I would really appreciate a bus on 48th Street, being that I live near 48th Street, but there's not one. Just people that fly down with loud exhaust and run red lights. 40th Street, also a major street in this part of town, but no bus on 40th Street either. So of course not one on 36th. Anyway, I'm gonna get me a drink at the Circle K. I really like the clerk that works here at night. She's a sweetheart, so looking forward to seeing her. Gosh, it seems like I was talking about something else before I started talking about how long it's been since I've been to Circle K on 36th Street and how far apart the bus routes are here. Oh yeah, I was talking about Priscilla actually kind of touching me, but it just being a really weak tease leading nowhere. Maybe I'll get to that on the next video if I got space on my phone for it.